it didn't let me invite our team. It just said, cannot invite friends, try later. I'm like, well, that's sad. So I kept trying, and it, for some reason, did not like it. So hopefully we'll post the link. And I know we've had some guest speakers the last couple weeks, and I always think those are great, but I always think it's great too for us to, I don't know, come together and brainstorm and build momentum, because I think that our team is going places, and I have tons of notes. I have notes on my computer. So I have a couple of things tonight that I wanted to talk about and share, and it's not necessarily new. It's just things from bits and pieces of different people. I'm going to mention Amy Paul a lot on this because I've been studying her because it's been so eye-opening for me, because like most people here are product driven, and we have some that are opportunity driven. And it's really been eye-opening for me to study Amy Paul and just see how it works from that side if you're opportunity driven, because I think that we disconnect some people on our team that are opportunity driven, and it's a really good stepping stone for us that don't talk about the opportunity right away to really start talking about it and how it can help us grow our business, and also continue changing lives. So again, this is all about chasing our dreams, how we do this. And I think that for all of us on here tonight, especially, everybody is such a hard worker. And I think that we pretty much know that this is not a lottery ticket. It takes a ton of work, dedication, effort, consistency, sacrifice. I think about the things that I've given up for this, and they're very minuscule and small, but if you think about the things that you've given up in your life too, like for me, People Magazine, Us Weekly, like that was my thing. Like that was at night, I would lay down and I would read it. Those are gone. I canceled all my subscriptions. Watching TV, listening to music, like a lot of things, and even time, Sunday evenings, like time at night. Like I'm not putting Sophie to bed. Let's be real, she's not going to bed for another 4 hours, but I'm not putting her to bed tonight because of the team call. And I think that you start to slowly see where you can subtract things in your life to add things to do now, so that later on you can do the things that you want to do. So it is sacrifice. If you are giving up Netflix, that's a sacrifice. Anything that you can think about is sacrifice. So if you want Plexus to work for you and to have your dreams come true, then you need to make a game plan for yourself. Draw your line in the sand. I know we hear that all the time. When's the day you drew your line in the sand? Don't look back, and then try to find what those time blockers are from maybe keeping you reaching to where you want to be. Not that the time blockers are really the sole purpose of holding you back, but they can really add up. And then think about what you can give up to where you can substitute that time. Because this business, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, whatever you have to put in, make the most of it. And I think that there's a lot of diamond ambassadors or jewel ambassadors that you don't have to work this business 8 hours a day. You can work it an hour a day, 30 minutes a day, and still make it to the top. And that's something that's really exciting. But you work really hard in the beginning. And I think that now with this month, and we have that, going for gold group, and a lot of you are surpassed silver on your way to gold. And I think personally, gold is the hardest rank to make. The hardest. It's a huge jump, and you're carrying it by yourself. And I think that's where a lot of the peaks and valleys come, because you guys might be familiar. This is how I had felt back then, and still feel sometimes. You're pushing, and then you have a couple people tell you that they have Candida die-off, and then you get sad and depressed, and it's like, oh, that's, I want to help them. And then the next person signs up, and they have a really great experience, and then you're on cloud 9, and then another person white lines, and then you're sad again. So I think once you get off that roller coaster of the up and down, and realize that the end goal of all of this is changing lives and this amazing compensation plan, that's the train that you want to get on. And once you get on that train, that's when you're just going to start going. The being sad and being happy, and that comes with this. But I think that if you just remove the emotion in a way, I know it's so easy to get your feelings hurt when you're like, my best friend just totally turned her order off and did not tell me. Like, that is super easy. But they're not doing it because it's you. They're doing it because maybe for a million different reasons that you might not understand, that maybe they're embarrassed. When you remove the emotion out of that and just have that genuine, like, reach out. If that happens to you, reach out and say, they might be embarrassed. They don't want to tell you. If you've ever thought about a situation that you've been in, it's kind of like being at a party and you don't want to say bye to anybody because you're going to get made fun of, and then you just like pretend to go to the bathroom and leave. Like, I've done that 50,000 times. I think that it's kind of like that. They did this, and then they, for some reason, aren't giving it the time, or maybe it's money. But if you genuinely keep those relationships going, I think that you will be so surprised to see that they will come back. And then that up and down realization along this entire thing, get off of that train and get on the one that's trying to take you constantly up, because that's where you're going. And then once you start growing your team, it becomes different work. I mean, we're all still working hard, but your work becomes different. You sign people and you realize that not everybody is you. Not everybody is going to see what you see. Not everybody is going to have the motivation that you have. And not everyone will get that. But once someone does and they want to work this business, they're going to do it. But we can't force it on the people that don't see it or don't want it yet, because we're going to push them away. And that's a hard thing to take in and to take on, especially when you know what this is and you just want to like shake the person and be like, don't you understand what's in front of you? They're going to work it. And I think when you start building your team, I think it's important definitely to have a team page and to post in that team page and to pour yourself into that team page. But don't spend and focus so much on the time trying to convince people what this is, because they're going to, if that's the case, if you convince them what to see, they're going to maybe try to see it and not have that belief. So once they start, their belief's not going to be there. So it's going to be really hard for them to stick it out. But once someone does see it for themselves, they're going to want to do it. Kind of like you guys all here and myself, like, I don't feel like any of us were really forced. It just kind of came organically and naturally. So just keep reaching out to those people and reaching out, and just keep remembering that you have a gift. You don't need so many people on your team to make it to the top. They say that you need 7 active level 1s to go diamond. That is mind-blowing. I mean, as long as those 7 active level 1s are duplicating and working on the power of 3, you don't need, I mean, yes, it is great to build wide, but if you're getting down on yourself because you're not personally sponsoring so many, I mean, don't, because you just need those great ones, those business builders, those rock stars to really take it for you. And then when you're looking for people, look for people of influence. I think that a lot of us can get scared when we start talking about our chicken list. A lot of us can get scared about people that are really well educated or people that make a lot of money. Like, they don't need the opportunity. Why would they need the opportunity? They're not hurting financially. But those are the people that think outside of the box, and those are the people that are willing to work hard. And I think that it's important to put those people on your contact list and not judge them or think that they're not going to be interested in something like this. I mean, I didn't realize, like with Celeste, I learned over the years that she came from a family with a lot of money. It wasn't the money that drove her. It was the products. But yes, the opportunity is going to be great. But what she does with all of her income, from most of it, they give back to charities. They give so much of what they have. So if Jen Hawkins would have been like, well, Celeste doesn't need the opportunity. She's obviously like not hurting, not laying awake at night worrying about bills. So this is just kind of saying, like, don't overthink people and say they're not going to be interested, because I think that a lot of people, when you're making your contact lists, circle those people specifically and reach out to them consistently, because I think that they're going to be the ones that might be that entrepreneurial mindset. So for us, I think that this week, last weekend, so many of us, we've had conversations. I've had multiple conversations, including myself, with so much emotion. And I think that it's means that we are growing, and it, like I will say what Ruth said before, the growth can be ugly. It can be dirty. It can be things that we don't recognize with ourselves, but we need to go through that to be able to reach to where we want to go, to be able to be successful with to be comfortable with who we are, to be successful with where we're going. And as long as you don't quit before you reach that, don't quit before that happens for you at all, because we might not feel it, but success is literally right around the corner. It's right around the corner. And I want you to write down the number 4, and that stands for like 4 years. I want you to give this 4 years to work this consistently every single day. If you're willing to do that, 10 minutes a day. If you want to do that, an hour a day. But, it's easy to get stuck in that black hole of Facebook and, but don't forget to do your IPA first. I think if you have a time goal of 4 years, you're going to be working anyway. You're going to be in another job anyway. The time's going to pass. The days are going to pass. It doesn't matter. If you have and are willing to do that consistent work every single day, contact 3 to 5 people a day. I know that that was uncomfortable for me, and I know uncomfortable for a lot of you. And especially when it has to do with relationships. Like, we talk about this is a relationship building business, which 110% I agree with that, wholeheartedly. I think that it's uncomfortable and awkward for people sometimes to reach out to people they haven't talked to for years and years. But if you think about it in this way, you are connected on Facebook. They are not strangers. You might have had this 25, 30-year gap in your relationship, but they're not strangers. So for me personally, I have signed a lot of people who I was friends with when I was a kid and haven't talked to them, since, except for connecting on Facebook. But they know that I'm a mom. They know that maybe I had no energy. They know that I was addicted to, soda, all of these different things. So people can relate to you in some form, regardless if you have a full-blown relationship or not. People can relate to, you think about all the things that Plexus can help with, hormonal issues, weight, go into the bathroom, like anything. You can connect to someone really, really quickly, even by just sending out a message to them, but if you personalize it in a different way. And I kind of have an example, and this was one of the ones that I had gotten from Amy Paul. Let's see. Yeah, so this is another, I'm going to pull up hold on one second. So this is an example of someone, if you've had a relationship with when you were a kid and haven't talked to them forever. Hey girl, whatever. Hey, I love following you on Facebook. Your kids are so cute. Crazy how fast the years go by. Feels like yesterday we were their age. And then you can roll right into it. So I'm also sure that you have seen me blowing up Facebook about Plexus. And I just felt like I needed to tell you about this because it's changed my family's life. I mean, it's simple as that. And I know that can be uncomfortable for some people, but give it a try. Reach out to 3 to 5 people this next week. That could be a good homework challenge for you. Take 3 to 5 people that you might not necessarily have a relationship with, where you talk all the time, message back and forth all the time. But if you have a relationship with them somehow, or you did a long time ago, reach out to them. Try to just see, because what's the worst thing that they're going to say? No, but what if they say yes? What if they have been secretly laying awake at night and been stressed about finances? Or what if they are super sick and tired? There's going to be something that might hit a button or generate with them that might help them and make them say yes, because we have the key. $34.95 could change everything for their life. And what it's done for you, for your family, excuse me. And if you just share it and not be embarrassed about reaching out and sharing it, if they say no, then you're right back to where you were before in that relationship. And you want to go for that no. So I challenge you to reach out to people that you might not have a relationship with and see what it does for you, because I am super comfortable building that relationship. So this is going to be a huge area of growth, I think, for me. But if you guys are not familiar with doing that, that might be a good challenge for you. We are all people pleasers at heart. We don't want anybody mad at us. We feel bad that we are trying to take money from our friends and family, like especially for starting out. Like this is how I was. And I feel like that sometimes the simplistic things, especially when I was trying to pull in bits and pieces for this call tonight. There's so many trainings out there. There's so many calls. And I think that we can make this as hard as possible when it's really so simple. It's very, very simplistic. And it's just about being you and telling people what it is that you find. So if you bring it back to the basics and try to keep it easy, I think that you might find yourself kind of stepping out even further out of that comfortable box. I know I said I was going to reference Amy Paul a lot, but and this is something that our team does also, but she sends this to her new ambassadors the day they start. The day they start. And I think and I know I am so guilty of this. I want people to wait until they get their success kit, and I want people to wait until they can take a picture with their pink drink. But she sends them 2 lines to post. Now and not necessarily they can say no, that they're not comfortable doing this. But she said 9 times out of 10, I'm sending this to them, and they're doing it because they just are. So she'll send them 2 lines, and when along with the 2 lines, she says to copy and post this on Facebook with a selfie. And the first reason she says to copy and post it the first day that they join is because they haven't gotten their product yet, and it could give them a jump start and a really eye-opening message of like, oh my gosh, people want to join me and they don't even know what I have. Like, it's kind of that blind trust. And the second reason she tells them to post a selfie is because the selfies get most likes, interaction, and comments, and it widens their network. So the 2 lines that she says, which I know some of you do this and some of you might not, and it could be a good challenge for you that might not. I'm so excited you send this to your new person and have them post this. I'm so excited to start this natural supplement my friend, and then you put your name, told me about. She has had more energy, better gut health, she sleeps better, has lost some weight. Who wants to try this with me? And again, this is a new person who hasn't gotten their product yet. They just joined, they put it out there. And I think that if you are going to be doing this with new ambassadors, I think this is a great tool, and I think that we have a great system in place on our team. But I think that sometimes, we all have a different comfort level of helping guide our new ambassadors on how to share with social media. Sometimes we like to tell them, we'll wait when you're ready. A lot of times we hear I want to have my own story. I want to have my own testimonial. But with these 2 lines, it's not having our new person telling anybody that it works. They're just asking people if they want to try it with them. So for someone who wants to wait on their own testimonial and their own story and to share, they might be apt doing this. They might be interested and excited to do this because they're not claiming that it has helped them with anything yet. They're just sharing a testimonial of their friend that they learned about Plexus from. And then as their sponsor, it's important to tell them and say, if you post this, sit back, let's see how many likes and comments you get. And then as soon as you have a like and a comment, start that 3-way message. I'll tell you exactly what to say, and I will take it from there. And that's how they learn. So I like this because I think it's definitely something, it helps get that new person involved right away. And they might not be interested in sharing, but I guarantee you that they'd be interested in getting their products for free. And when we talk about people wanting to do stuff with us, if we join a gym, we want to take our best friend to a class. If we start Weight Watchers, we want to do it with a friend. And that's why with Plexus, you have a friend that reaches out to you, and then it's up to us to become and stay the experts for our new ambassadors. They trust us, they sign us under us, and we become their health coaches. Not in a certified health coach type of way, but we are the experts to them in Plexus. And I think that if you think about it in the fact of, if there was a new teacher and you are you are somebody that hired them, and you throw them into a classroom with 30 new kids, they have no idea what they're doing. They have no clue. They are nervous. They are scared. But as soon as this new person joins, if you're guiding them and letting them know, it's great to add them to team pages. It's great to start a welcome message, but it's really important to go even that step further. Get on the phone with them, hold their hand, tell them that, I'm going to reach out to you every single day this week. The first 30 days, or at least maybe the first 2 weeks, are the most crucial for a new ambassador, the absolute 100%, because they're going to get their success kit. and they might push it to the side and maybe they didn't read. I mean, I have sent a ton of emails with instructions on how to take the products, and I have people be like, well, what do you mean I don't take full dosage? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I sent an email, and we expect that they're going to read those things, and sometimes they won't. And so it's really important to just make sure that you think of yourself as their health coach, because you are that expert. And in doing so, be bold. Be bold in your business. Be bold with the new ambassadors. Be bold on your team page. And this is a work in progress for me, because I am not a tough love type of person at all. I'm not, and I'm learning along the way. I'm growing in that way. And I'm also, I don't feel like I'm a very bold person, but I'm working on that too, because people are looking for you to tell them what to do. They truly are, even if it's as a customer. When a lot of people are customers of mine or people, wholesale ambassadors, are joining, I notice a difference in the pattern of how I was a year ago to how I am now. If they're joining me now, I am 100% saying, I think you should pick the Triplex and the X Factor. And I want them to start on the Fab 4, because I used to get nervous, especially when I would recommend something and then they would be like, oh, that's way too much money. And then I would backtrack, and I would feel guilty, like I'm having them spend money, and I would backtrack and I would say, okay, well, maybe you should just do the Slim, and maybe later on, maybe we'll try to add the ProBio 5 or the BioCleanse. And I think that they can feel maybe that nervousness in your voice, or not the confidence. And when you object, you block that objection. If somebody says, because I know that money and cost is a huge objection for a lot of people. So if somebody says, if you're saying, okay, I think you should do the Triplex Welcome Pack, let's get you signed up, let's get you taken care of, and somebody says, that's a lot of money. And again, that's when I used to say, well, let's just start you here, and then we can add this stuff in later. If you say boldly, it's really not. It's around $3 a day, and you're going to save money on no longer going to the gas station for sodas, or no longer having this medication, and you have facts to prove your point, and you're confident about it. You're blocking that cost objection immediately. And then you can even say, like, I thought it would be expensive too, but it's truly not. I got my health back, and now and you fill in the blank with everything that you have gained from this experience. And block it quickly and move on. So don't stick around the price, because people will want to buy it. And if you think about all the things in somebody's life that they might have, like people that say, I can't afford Plexus, and then you see them have a new Coach purse, or like, all these different types of things that they're purchasing. They don't understand how it can fit into their lifestyle. A lot of people will buy different things, but if you just speak confidently about the products, and when we're talking about the price, I think that's going to go a lot further. So if you do what I used to do, maybe try to change it up and really say, because I think that, in the big picture for a lot of people, yes, it can be expensive, but so can a lot of other things that they're doing that to be negative for their health can be. So I think that if we speak confidently about that, I think you might see that cost objection kind of go out the window, especially when you're not focusing directly on the price. Another troubleshooting for customers and for ambassadors, and this is another Amy Paul quote that she'll say, and we learned about this at convention too in the Ruby Senior Ruby training that Sheila Medina talked about. It's about qualifying people. And this is another bold move, and I have yet to say it in this fashion, but Amy Paul says if she has a customer that says, I'm only going to try it for a month, then she says, well, this probably isn't the product for you. If you aren't willing to give this 3 to 6 months, it's not going to be really worth your time or money, because Plexus balances and gets to the root of the issue. And so when you're ready to commit longer and come back and talk to me, because I would love to help you get healthy. So basically she's had people say, so I can't order from your website, but she does this in a bold way, because she says that most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they end up ordering because they have that frame of mind, and they know that, okay, like I'm going to give this 3 to 6 months, which is what you want. You want customers to do this longer. You want wholesale ambassadors to do this longer. You don't want them to pay $34.95, try it for 30 days, have Candida die off, and then go away. So you want that commitment up front that they want to try these, that they will try these products for 3 months before they actually buy. So I think that's a really good tool to qualify someone. Or in the way Sheila says it, she does it a little bit more, a little lighter, and says, let me see which way you qualify for this. Tell me a little bit about what you're interested in doing. And if somebody says, like, I just want to try it for, 30 days, like she won't refuse them, but she'll say, you actually qualify for our preferred customer program, rather than having them go the ambassador route. Because you want to, the preferred customer bonuses and the PV that you get from customers are amazing. You don't want to bypass that just to hopefully have somebody join your team as an ambassador and then risk them becoming a white line and then not getting their money's worth for the products. So qualifying someone is really important, and I think that it could help change the fact of whether you know where to put this person. If you are not accountable to someone yet on a daily basis, find somebody to become accountable for. I love our team. I think that we all talk to each other a lot in different groups and different threads, but find that one person that you can be accountable to, whether that's an upline, a sideline, tag team with that person. Because if you don't, it's really easy to become preoccupied with other things, get crazy involved with other things, and then you realize that you've stopped posting, that you've stopped reaching out. And if you're not doing that consistently, it becomes very difficult to get back onto that train that you want to take, that when you go forward. And then if you have a hard time telling people that you work for Plexus, I think that this has come up in conversation over the past couple weeks. Think about the fact of, are you embarrassed to tell people what you do if you have another job for a living? Are you embarrassed to tell people that you're a teacher or a doctor or anything of that sort? You're not embarrassed to say what your profession is. So if you're talking about Plexus, say it with confidence, and be confident. Be confident that you're a network marketer. You can say, you know what, I work for the best health and wellness company ever, and their compensation plan is amazing. It's $35 to sign up, and I want you on my team. And you come across like that, you're going to come across like as a recruiter, and you're recruiting people for better health, and you're picking the cream of the crop people because you're making them feel like you want them on your team. I know that Amy Paul and her husband walk into the mall and they'll go to like Sunglass Hut and they'll say, you know what, I love your personality. I think you would be awesome on my team. It's $35. I think you would be great. Do you have 10 minutes to talk tomorrow or the next day? Hey, by the way, are you on Facebook? And then she said, I put my phone in their face and I have them type their name in. She goes, you put your phone in somebody's face, they are not going to say no. She goes, I don't know how it works, but it works. And then you start messaging back and forth. And if people aren't comfortable for that, then you just add them on Facebook and you widen your network, because people are going to start seeing what you're posting. They pick Whole Foods to go to. They drive across the country sometimes when they're in their RV and go to different Whole Foods and walk in and say, you are my people. You are holistic people that are excited about health. You are my people. I want you on my team. I have this awesome opportunity for you. Are you on Facebook? I mean, and this is just, it's amazing to me how many people out there are strangers, but yet you can bond over, 5 to 7 minutes, add them on Facebook, and then just start messaging back and forth. And if you don't message back and forth, they can start seeing your pictures. Now this is also, I have yet to try this. I want to try it this week. So if anybody's up for the challenge of doing this also, and we can come back to each other and see what this starts, let me know, because I really want to try this. Because I think that you go out grocery shopping or the mall or a gym or anywhere, you meet a lot of interesting people, because half the time that you're somewhere running errands, you're waiting in silence. So why not strike up a conversation? Why not wear your swag and just find the different people that you can talk to? There's just a couple more things. Sorry, I want to be respectful of your guys' time. So if you, so we talked about people on our team wanting them to see the vision, but wanting them to see it for themselves as well. If you think about how many hours you have during the day to work this, or how many minutes that you have during the day to work this, it can be so easy to get in your own head and start taking the time and effort that you're going to put in your own business and blocking that and thinking like, I'm posting on my team page. Why isn't she saying anything? And I'm sending all these messages. Why won't she get on a Zoom call with me? Or I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. And you're so focused on figuring out why this person on your team isn't working. Think about where that time just went. So think about, if you have that time, work on the IPA, work on yourself, work on your own growth, do all these things. Not to say ignore your downline or ignore the people that you're wanting them to see this vision, but be a role model and a leader for them. Because I think that when you start growing your team and you start adding ambassadors and you start doing all of these IPAs and putting these things out there, they're going to see that and they want to follow you. They're going to follow your need. They're going to see your priorities and where you're putting your effort, and you're going to make it look more attainable to them, rather than, yes, guide them, but guide them in a way of putting it out there for them and letting them take it, but continuing working on yourself. Be able to be reachable to people, but you want them to be able to be coachable to you. So it's really easy to get caught up and frustrated when things are crickets or things go silent or people go, on and off of wanting to work this business or not wanting to work this business. But just make sure that you continue to work and do the IPA for yourself, the income producing activities, because that's going to take you, a little bit further and show your team what kind of a leader you are. And then just a couple of last things. About the reach outs. They say it takes 7 to 10 reach outs for someone to really jump on board. And I think that it's very important to know, because you think about Jen and Celeste. If Jen would have stopped at the first reach out with Celeste, she would have missed that opportunity to have, I'm just going to take a wild guess, I don't even know, like 80,000 people on her team. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know if Celeste has that many people, but it's more than 37,000. So think about that. That's such a mind-blowing, if Jen would have said, okay, and taken that first no, that opportunity for all of those people would have been missed. So reaching out to people multiple number of times does not make you look desperate. It doesn't make you look desperate. It makes you look passionate. It makes you look committed. It makes you look to people that you're confident and that you know what you're talking about. And that that people need what you have, that you're a professional network marketer. So I say make your chicken list, write it down, circle the people that you want to reach out to, and keep reaching out and reaching out and reaching out. Use those special opportunities that we have with promotions, with this upcoming event, August 23rd. This coming Wednesday is our Graduate to Health and Happiness. If you haven't reached out to everybody that you've ever talked to about Plexus and put them in this group, that should be a huge IPA for you tonight, tomorrow, Tuesday. It's never too late. This is an online event Wednesday night. It's a great opportunity. And I think that we get people in one place and start all coming together as a team and sharing the testimonials. That's a huge IPA that you can be doing. And do that to your chicken list. Link arms with your team and challenge yourself to say, okay, take that accountability partner and say, okay, for the next 2 hours, I'm going to message everybody that I've ever talked to. And I think that becomes something that becomes innate in you. And it becomes, as soon as you do it over and over and over, you're going to see that it's going to become a lot easier for you. And then I think the last thing that I have is, sorry, I have all of these different notes on here. Do you guys have any questions so far? I know I've talked for like 35 minutes straight. Has there been any like aha moments or any tips that have helped you, or things that you might feel uncomfortable with?
I want to share real quick. I had a moment of boldness that I wouldn't have done otherwise. And I had some help from Marianne Hines, one of our sidelines. I had somebody who had a little bit of buyer's remorse. And so we actually, I just responded to her and I said, basically, I know she needs these products. And I just said, maybe this isn't for you, but don't get scared yet. And I gave some other suggestions. So she's already made the purchase, but she was scared. And I would never have normally said, maybe this isn't for you. And so I think for me, that was like a little bit of a learning of, it's true. We know what we've got here and we have confidence in it. And if somebody's not ready to invest in their time to do it, yeah, it can be a little overwhelming, but being there to step them through, it's important. So anyway, I just thought it was an approach I would normally not have taken, and it worked. So
that's awesome, Art. Have you been doing that a lot, or was that just like that one specific instance?
That was just that one specific time. It was just that one specific time. So, but I learned enough from that one time, I think. And then I've personally been working more on my follow-up, especially with, like you were saying earlier, with the first 30 days and just making sure people are kind of feeling that I'm there and knowing that I'm there to help them along and not just adding them to pages and saying, figure it out.
Right.
Not that I did that originally, but still, sometimes it's easy to kind of use some of those things as crutches. So
yeah, absolutely. Anybody else have examples or things that have been working or not working or that you want to try?
I think, kind of how like you touched base on about, representing Plexus as your company, and it is our company, but like when you talk to people about it, it's who we work for, it's who we are a face of, it's who we represent, and be confident in that. Like when I talk to people about it, that's how I talk to them. I don't talk to them about, that I'm a salesperson or, that I'm just somebody who's just trying to promote a product. Like I am like 110% behind Plexus. And so it's like, that's how I speak about it. And so that's what I feel like people, they believe in you, they trust you if you're confident about yourself and what you're doing. So I think that's just a huge thing, is like when you're talking to people that you are a part of something great and you want to share about it, you are a part of Plexus. It is your company. That is what you do. That's just kind of how I talk to people about things.
Yep. No, I think that's great. Because I used to do the same. I mean, I used to call it my little side gig, and I am like, no, this is like so much bigger than that. And Emily Roberts did a video, which I absolutely love. It was on her page. And she was like, she was fired up because she was like, I think it was titled, what's cute? Because I think somebody came up to her and said, oh, that's so cute that you do this little thing on the side. She's like, what's cute? Puppies are cute. You know what else is cute? My son's lips. Sterling, say scissors. And she's like, that's cute. She's like, this is a lifestyle. This is something that I am passionate about. This is changing thousands of lives. This has given me financial freedom. And I think when you put that into perspective, I mean, it's true. And like to go with what you said, Adrienne, I mean, it is. I mean, you have to be confident in what you represent and be comfortable in talking about it. Because I think that people can see right through you if you're not.
Well, and it's like, why not? Like, why wouldn't you be comfortable talking about it? Like we are all in this for a reason, whether it's, for health or whether it's for financial or just purely being proud of the fact that we are a part of something completely amazing. And so it's just, be that. Just be that,
I love that. I think we should get t-shirts. I love it. Just be that. I like that. That could be on your every Plexus post is your brand.
It just might.
It just might. Hi, Ruth. Say hi to you, Ruth.
Hi. I have one little thing I wanted to kind of try this week. And I've had such good luck with that really quick, post or message and outreach. Just, I'm sure you've seen my Plexus post by now. Have you tried it? That has just gotten such a ridiculous return rate for response or for messages back that I was really trying to think about how could I do that for the business part.
I have one.
You do?
Yes. So, okay, this is, again, Amy Paul. Like, I'm not a single white female stalker. I swear to God, I've been, like, picking apart all these different things. So this is what she says. She'll tell her team, she says, grab somebody and go to a coffee shop one day a week for an hour and take your phone and your Frank's list. That's it. Nothing else. And every message that you send out, you high five that person next to you. So like if you and I, Ruth, went to a coffee shop, we would take our Frank's list, we would do it, and we would high five each other. But this is a couple things that she has said, and I can put it in here if I talk too fast with this. But she basically reached out to someone and said, hey, so-and-so, we've been looking to expand in your area. She said we, because her and her husband were, doing it together. So I've been looking to expand in your area, and I thought, who is the most influential person I could think of? And who could I have on my team that I want to fully invest in? I know you've been seeing my Facebook feed blowing up Plexus, and I know you're super smart and driven and have $34.95. This may not be for you, but can I please call you tomorrow at 6 and talk about the biggest life hack that has changed my life? So it's basically like you're putting it, she's like, and they can say no, but she's like, I'm basically saying like, I want to invest in you. You are smart. You are super influential, and this is why I think you'd be awesome. So she was kind of leading with that example, about solely the business. But there was another one and that was for a guy. That was a message for a guy. I don't know why it would be different for a girl, but the girl example was, oh my goodness, I can't believe that I'm sending you this message. I'm so nervous because this isn't something I normally do. Wait, let's see. I don't know why this company that I'm working for, I'm sure you've seen it blowing up all over Facebook. It's called Plexus. It's $34 or $35. And I'm already covering and she listed all like my mortgage, my car payments. Is there any chance that you would have 10 minutes to talk to me this week? Do you have time on whatever? And they always pick like a date and a time. So I think that these two, I mean, I don't know why the male message and the female message has to start like, oh my goodness, like that's going to make a difference. But I think that, if you just start complimenting people and just saying like, my team is blowing up, and maybe you can say, instead of looking to expand in your area, my team is blowing up in your area. And I thought, who could be the most influential person I could think of? Who could I have on my team that I want to fully invest in? And I don't know if that's, something that sounds like you, but maybe to even give you like a leeway of where.
Yeah. Will you type that out?
Yeah, I will. Okay.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, Nicole, will you also type out those 2 lines?
Yeah.
On how to, like, when you have the new person, like, that would be great because I'm driving, so I can't.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
That would be great. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Anything else from anybody? I like the coffee shop idea. So any of my St. Louis folks, if you guys want to hit up a coffee shop next week, let me know. Yeah, I think that's all I have. I hope this was good info. I know a lot of this isn't new, but I think that, when you start getting back down to the basics and you start talking about your why and all the different things that we have and the circle of influence and how to expand that of people, that is one thing I did want to say that I didn't mention. You feel like your warm market might be just done. Like only the people that you're posting on Facebook, the people that are commenting and liking are the only people that see it. So that's what, to expand the circle of influence that you have. And how do you do that? Just by talking to people. Just by marketing yourself, talking to people everywhere you go. And again, you can do that. You can try to be bold and do that with people. And that's going to be a huge reach for me. I've been to places before and overheard conversation, but I've never been like at the deli line of Schnucks and turn around and be like, hey, you on Facebook? You know what I mean? Like, I think it's going to be like a whole new experience. But I think once you are bold and going out there, but just talk to people, market yourself, and put your phone in their face. Have them add themselves on there. I mean, or bond with them at the store or wherever it is that you are. And they're probably not gonna say no, especially when you're having them enter in their information. And just become friends with them. You don't have to message back and forth right away, but have them start seeing your things. So just another tip. You guys have
Adrienne, you're on mute.
Oh,
Adrienne, you're muted.
Let me unmute her. I just unmuted you, Adrienne.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
One of the things that I think is a good opportunity too is like if you're going out to dinner or to lunch or breakfast, like your waitress or waiter, like for me, like I always strike up conversations with my waiters or waitresses. Perfect opportunity. when you're leaving a tip, cash tip, slide in a sample, of a Slim with a note and your business card. And, that could be something big every single time. You just never know. So that's something that I think I'm going to start doing, is kind of venturing into my waiters and waitresses.
Yeah. Did anybody else see the Chris McCall thing that he put when he put the Slim in the bank teller?
The bank?
Oh my God. I mean, seriously. Drink it and call me, and like sped off.
Yeah, yesterday I was at a bridal shower, and you know how they play those games where it's like you get so many points for whatever you have in your purse, like, oh, if you have this in your purse, you get 2 points, and whoever has the most points wins. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So one of the things on the list yesterday, it was a big point item too. It was worth 6 points. If you had a business card of any kind in your purse, you got 6 points. Well, most of these women didn't have business cards, so I was like, whipped out my wallet and started passing out business cards. I was like, here, you get 6 points.
That's awesome.
I ran out though, so I didn't have enough.
That's awesome. Yeah, anywhere. Hat, put your hat on, take your water bottle, I just say it just sparks up a conversation. And if you guys didn't watch Adrian's Facebook Live on our big team page, go back and watch it from this week. She had like a God moment. She had her silver bracelet on from her success kit, and it was pretty incredible what happened. So I think that's awesome. Now
that was this week?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the big team page that sparked up. I mean, it's a really, really cool story if you guys have time to go back and watch it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
Stephanie, you and I were in line with God moments this past week. So.
Oh yeah, Stephanie, it was right after your moment where you had that woman come out. So.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
He's been busy nudging lately.
Yeah, he has.
You guys have anything else? I know we ran way over.
You're awesome, Nicole. Thanks.
Yeah.
Love you, girls. I will. I'll post the link and then I'll type. Do you prefer me to type it out in the comments on our team page or in the actual event page?
Doesn't matter.
Team page. Okay, I'll post it on the leader. I'll post it team page and then type it out underneath it.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Good night, guys.
Hey.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.